Okay, so how do I do that? So how do I apply a different CSS coding to here than I can to here? As you could probably guess, there's going to be many cases where you want to apply, like, a different set of CSS coding to different parts of your document. So what I can do is I can, I can see, well, where's my links? Well, down here. So here's my links. So here I wrap a text box, a div tag around my links, indented my links, very important, and I gave this text box an identification called links. And here I have links as well. Okay, so what you see between these brackets is going to control what happens here. Okay, because of the link between this link here and this link here. Now what I can do is I can take all this body stuff here, I could copy it, alright, and I could paste in here. Alright. Now that's going to work. If you look at that, okay, now it's the same thing. Alright. Okay, it's the same thing. Now what I could do is, I guess I could get rid of this. Get rid of this line here, background color. Alright, so what I can do is now I can change my line height. I can change this to maybe 1.8, okay, and repeat it. Now there, I did it. Now, I could control this CSS different than this one, but the problem with doing that is that now I have a set of CSS coding up here, and I have the exact same CSS coding down here. This is the same, this is the same, this is the same, only this is different. Alright, number one, it's repetitive. Number two, if I were to change the font here, I would also need to change it down here. Now you say, well, so what, right? Like, if I change it here, what's the big deal? I just change it down here. Well, that's great. It's a very simple web page. Right now, we only have very few divs. And what if your CSS page is very long? What if you have a lot more? This is copied in a dozen different places. Now it becomes a bit of a chore. Every time you want to change a font, you got to change it in 12 different places of your document. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so I'll show you a feature of CSS and a little bit of an information of why it's called cascading style sheets. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this property line height. Okay, I'm going to copy just that one property and paste it right in here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, now if I do this, okay, now it's the same, no big deal. Now if I change this to 1.8, okay, watch this. Okay, it applies up here as well. So what's happening here is in the body tag, okay, I define the font styling for the entire body. In here, I'm repeating part of that property I'm repeating part of that property that is also defined up here. But because this is defined after that, okay, it basically supersedes or I guess outranks this one. So this one it has a 2.8 line spacing. This one says is 1.8. This one is later. This is read later than this one up here. Therefore, this one applies. Okay. And that way I could have two different lines. I could have two different line spacing specifications without repeating the entire coding. So as you can imagine, now if you understand how this works, okay, what do you think is going to happen if I do this? If I copy this one here, okay, and paste it down here, and make this one, I don't know, 5 pixels layer spacing, okay? Is this one going to override this one? Well, you understand how this works. I just explained it. Okay, you understand how and why this overrides this one here. So if you repeat this one here, you can guess that is going to override this one as well. All right. So there you go. All right. You can see that it overrides it. Okay, and that's really the key thing of how to learn, I guess, is now I showed you something before. I showed you, before, this is the table with prices. Okay, this is the table with prices. Why does this table have this font and this font styling? Because it's defined in the body tag, okay, in which the table is inside of that body tag. Now in this case here, I said that the table prices, the position is absolute. Okay, absolute to what? Well, the table is here, okay, and you see that the table is inside of this main content div. Okay, so this absolute position means that the table, okay, is positioned. It references this point here. This is considered top 0 and left 0. So I told the table to go left 380 pixels, so go this way 380 pixels, and it'll come down by 250. So come down by 250. So the corner of this table, 250 pixels down, 380 pixels across. Okay, it references the absolute position. Now let's see the links. I want the links to be right about here. Okay, right about there. So how do I do that? Well, looking at the table position. Okay, if you understand how this works, it should be absolutely no problem to figure out how this one works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this. Okay, I'm going to paste it in here, but it's not going to make a lot of sense because if I paste it there, refresh it. Okay, is it any surprise to you the links are right on top of the table? Absolutely not. That's what we expected to do. So links, let's say I want to put it right about here, so I'm going to go left to maybe 80 pixels. Alright, 80 pixels. Okay, now where to get 80 from? You notice that the main content div, that's the one with the black background. So the main content div here, as defined here with the black background, is 800 pixels wide. So if this is 800 from here to here, let's think about this for a sec. Then it's 400 from here to here. This is about 200. This is roughly about 100 or so. Okay, so that's where I got that number 80 from. I want to come in right about here or so. Okay, just ballparking it. So 80 pixels across. Top, I want to bring it down to maybe. So if this is 80 pixels, maybe another 40 pixels from the top. Okay, so let's give it 40 pixels from the top. Refresh it, and there you go. Okay, there's my background. All right. So there you have it. There's a cascading style sheets. Now what I want to do here is from this point here, I really don't need the background and the opacity anymore. The reason I have the black background and the opacity is because I want to see where the dimensions are to help me lay out the web page, but I don't really need that anymore. So what I'm going to do is I can delete it. Okay, I can delete it just like this. It's gone. All right, that's great. But now, if I want the black background back again, now what I have to do is I have to retype it. All right, that's kind of a pain in the butt. So instead of deleting it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment it out. So in HTML, the comments look like this. Okay, the open bracket, exclamation mark, dash dash, and the end dash here. Now in HTML, if I take this bracket and move it down here, you notice that this turns gray. The browser is going to ignore everything in between here and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the comments to my advantage. All right. Instead of deleting this, because if I want it back, then I have to retype it. I'm going to use a comment to comment it out. Now the comment in CSS is a /star. Right? You notice that everything below that /star will now be ignored by the browser. So I go another /star here, or /. Okay, that ends the comment. The color coding comes back, and the browser will now ignore everything in here. All right, and it doesn't show up. Now in the future, if I want this back again, I just need to highlight this, move it up here. Okay, save it, and there it's back. All right. So how fast is this? All right. So there's a little tip for you. This is how you do comments in CSS, and this is how you do, and this is how you use comments to block out code, so you don't have to delete it, keep on deleting it and retyping, deleting, retyping it. All right. Okay. So you might want to review this video a couple times for the information that you need. What I want to see is, this is just an assignment, but I want to see that you choose. I want to see that the cookie jar is laid out properly. Okay, I want to see the table is centered. I want to see the text and formatting applied properly. I want to see the links in position, and basically the basic layout in position. as I said, I didn't show you how to do everything on in this tutorial. You're gonna have to take what I taught you and try to apply it to a similar situation. Okay? Talk to you later.